starting in just a couple minutes later. I apologize. Got a clock here. Apparently it's 3 o'clock in California, so we're on West Coast time here today. Happy Monday. My name is Gil. I'll be your interpreter here this evening. Anybody new to yoga? Anybody new to my class? Welcome. So I'd like to start just sitting comfortably here and introducing a few concepts. And the first being samsara. And this is a Sanskrit word. These concepts are Sanskrit is a vibrational language, and within the words there's deep meaning in that vibration. And that takes place in English too, but it gets kind of distorted and it loses a little bit of the vibration. And Sanskrit was all about vibration, which is why we chant in yoga. And part of the reason we chant Om, because we're aligning our vibration with this cosmic, this universal vibration. And so, back to samsara. Samsara is this cycle. And specifically, it could relate to any cycle, but specifically, it relates to the cycle of birth, life, death, rebirth. And if you don't believe in reincarnation, that's fine. It's the cycles within your life that we want to look at. It's the patterns. And as we all know from being human beings, it's hard to break habits. It's hard to break the cycles that show up again and again and again. So how do we do that? And that's a great question. Anyone want to ask it? Yeah. How do we do that? By coming into a room like this and getting grounded, getting centered, and bringing consciousness into our actions so that we're not just pulled away by the constant flow of the thoughts, what they call the vrittis or chitta vrittis, which is the looping of our thoughts back and again, back and again. So we probably have the same thoughts about our relationships, the same thoughts about our jobs, the same thoughts about the people who cut us off in traffic, etc., etc. Until we get to the point where in our yoga practice, where we have a laboratory for really getting conscious, really getting clear, then we can start to take this consciousness off the mat and into our life. So when you're challenged in your yoga practice, when you're challenged in a standing pose or bouncing pose, you have that moment where you're just like, you almost want to cuss at yourself, or you judge it, or whatever it is, you see that cycle, it shows up, you say, okay, I'm going to do something differently this time. I'm going to just breathe, I'm going to sit with it, I'm going to be with it. And then you can transform it. That's how we break the cycle. That's how we break samsara. And when we break that cycle, we achieve the new concept, which is moksha. And moksha is liberation. Doesn't that sound nice? Just that word. Even in English, that sounds nice, the vibration, liberation. So moksha. Let's all say it. Moksha. Yeah. Moksha. So hopefully, within the practice today, you can experience freedom. You can experience liberation. And that means that you have to be with sensation. That means that you have to be with what shows up for you on your mat today, whether it be physical, whether it be emotional, and everything in between. And so we start this consciousness now. So let's sit for a few moments of meditation. And either close your eyes or allow your gaze to soften and cast downward. Just rest your palms on your thighs, somewhere comfortable, allowing your elbows to hang beneath your shoulders relaxing down your back. Bring your attention to the breath. Harness your attention to the breath for the remainder of your practice. When you lose that focus, come back to it. That's all the practice is. It's coming back to the breath, coming back to consciousness and awareness again and again and again. As the poses challenge you, as the practice itself challenges you to ebbs and flows, you find that center point, that stillness that exists, and that is your path to freedom. On your next inhalation, fold the palms of your hands together to the center of your chest, connecting your thumbs with your breastbone. Allow your chin to melt in towards the heart. evoke sacred space for our practice this evening through the vibration of Om. Chanting 3 Oms to begin. Exhale and into your breath. Inhale. Consciousness of witnessing as you begin to move and participate with your breath more actively now. Go ahead and release your hands. Gently open your eyes. Come forward into child's pose. Just swinging the legs around and crossing over the ankles. Bring the big toes close together or touch. Stretch the arms forward and rest your forehead down.